Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
हरे कृष्ण गाते जब तक प्रभु आते जय राधा माधव प्रभु गाएंगे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Nittai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol
Over.
Jay Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jay Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Vrindavan Vrindavan Chandra Radhe Jaya Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radhe Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajapacharya Ashtottara Shatashi Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charan Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Samsthapanacharya Savior of the whole world Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupada Nitya Leela Pravishta His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupada Nitya Leela Pravishta His Divine Grace Gaur Kishore Das Baba Ji Maharaj Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Nitai Go Premanande Hari Hari Bo Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 6, text number 24 and 25. Teshu Yagnasya Pashavaha. Teshu Yagnasya Pashavaha. Sa Vanaspatyaha. Savanaspatyaha. Kushaha. Savanaspatyaha Kushaha. Idam cha devayajanam. Idam cha devayajanam. Kalaha cha uru gunanvitaha. Kalaschoru gunanvitaha. Vastuni oshadayaha. Snehaha. Vastunyoshadayah sneha. Vastunyoshadayah sneha. Rasa loha mrudho jalam. Rasa loha mrudho jalam. Rasa loha mrudho jalam. Ruchaha yajumsi yajumshi samani. Rucho yajumshi samani. Chatuhu hotram cha sattama. Chatur hotram cha sattama. Teshu yagnasya pashavaha. Savanaspatya kushaha. Idam cha devayajanam. Kalaschoru gunanvitaha. Vastunyoshodayah sneha. Rasaloha mrudho jalam. Rucho yajumshi samani. Chatur hotram cha sattama. Teshu yagnasya pashavaha. Savanaspatyaha kushaha. Idam cha devayajanam. Kalaschoru gunanvitaha. Vastunyoshodayah sneha. Rasaloha mrudho jalam. Rucho yajumshi samani. Chatur hotram cha sattama. Teshu yagnasya pashavaha. Samani Chaturhotram cha sattama
Teshu yagnasya pashavaha Savanaspataya kushaha Idam cha deva yajanam Kalaschoru gunanvitaha Vastunni oshadaya sneha Rasadoham mrido jalam Racho yujumsi samani Chaturhotram cha sattama
Teshu, in such sacrifices, Yagnasya, of the sacrificial performance, Pashavaha, the animals or the sacrificial ingredients, Savanaspatyaha, along with flowers and leaves, Kushaha, the straw, Idam, all these, Cha, as also, Devayajanam, the sacrificial altar, Kalaha, a suitable time, Cha, as also, Uru, great, Guna Anvitaha, qualified, Vastuni, utensils, Oshadayaha, grains, Snehaha, clarified butter, Rasalohamrutaha, honey, gold and earth, Jalam, water, Richaha, the Rigveda, Yajumshi, the Yajurveda, Samani, the Samaveda, Chatuhu Hotram, 4 persons conducting the performance, Cha, all these, Sattama, O most pious one. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. For performing sacrificial ceremonies, one requires sacrificial ingredients such as flowers, leaves, and straw, along with sacrificial altar and a suitable time, spring. Other requirements are utensils, grains, clarified butter, honey, gold, earth, water, the Rigveda, Yajurveda, and Samaveda, and 4 priests to perform the sacrifice. Translation with repetition. For performing sacrificial ceremonies, one requires sacrificial ingredients such as flowers, leaves, and straw, along with the sacrificial altar and a suitable time, spring. Other requirements are utensils, grains, clarified butter, honey, gold, earth, water, the Rigveda, Yajurveda, and Samaveda, and 4 priests to perform the sacrifice. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. To perform a sacrifice successfully, At least 4 expert priests are needed. One who can offer, hota, one who can chant, udgata, one who can kindle the sacrificial fire without the aid of separate fire, advaryu, and one who can supervise, Brahma. Such sacrifices were conducted from the birth of Brahma, the first living creature, and were carried on till the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthira. But such expert Brahmana priests are very rare in this age of corruption and quarrel. And therefore, in the present age, only the yajna of chanting the holy name of the Lord is recommended. The scriptures enjoin Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam. Kalau nastyeva, nastyeva, nastyeva gatiranyatha. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militan Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are reading in this part of the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 6, called Purusha Sukta Confirmed, about yajna, about sacrifice, and how Brahma performed the sacrifice, but then he had no ingredients. How he wanted to perform the sacrifice, but he had no ingredients except the different parts of the body of the Lord. Text 23 mentions, when I was born from the abdominal lotus flower of the Lord, Mahavishnu, the great person, I had no ingredients for sacrificial performances except the bodily limbs of the great personality of Godhead. And so, in the next 2 verses, and in fact the 3rd verse, next 3 verses also, and to some extent, text 26 also, there is a list of various ingredients needed for sacrifice. Pashavaha, animals, sacrificial ingredients. Savanaspatyaha, flowers and leaves. Patyaha, leaves. Kushaha, straw. Devayajanam, sacrificial altar. Kalaha, urugunanvitaha, kalaha, a suitable time like spring. Then utensils, grains, clarified butter, honey, gold, earth, jalam, water, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and 4 Hotras. All these are needed. And the list goes on. And Srila Prabhupada, in all such opportunities, he brings up the point that yes, these ingredients are needed for sacrifice, but these are not available in Kali Yuga. Like the 4 kinds of priests who are qualified, who can chant the mantras, and create fire by the power of the chanting of the mantras, and various other ingredients are not easily available to everyone. So how does one perform sacrifice? And Prabhupada brings this point that how this has been simplified for this age. Yagnai sankirtana prayair harer nameva kevalam, simply by chanting the holy names of Hari. And here the 4 kinds of priests are listed by Srila Prabhupada. Hota, one who offers the ingredients to the fire. Udgata, one who can chant the mantras very correctly. And Advaryu, one who can kindle the sacrificial fire without the aid of separate fire. And Brahma, somebody who supervises all of this, the chief priest. Brahma means chief, highest, ultimate. All of these meanings are there for the word Brahma. So, sacrifice. There's a very beautiful statement by Srila Prabhupada. The word sacrifice suggests dedication of one's own interests for satisfaction of a second person. That's when you sacrifice something for the sake of a second person, another person other than ourselves. To think of oneself alone, being very self-centered, is an aspect of tamoguna. That's why animals are very self-centered. If a pack of dogs or any other wild animals, they go hunting, when they get a prey, each one is trying to... Now they are not thinking, oh, let's share this nicely. Let's share this very carefully. They don't think like that. They just pounce and tear apart the meat, and whoever can get the biggest share, run away. They don't think of another. So, the very self-centered. That is the nature of tamoguna. That's why animals are said to be largely in tamoguna. And if we analyze our own situation, we are also quite self-centered. We think of ourselves and our benefit, our personal benefit. And in human society, there is a little bit of an elevation, and one can think of not only oneself, but my family. That's a little bit of an expansion of the one's self-centeredness is slightly expanded think of one's family. And some people sacrifice a little bit more and think of their community. And some people think further about their city, maybe, about their state, maybe, about their country, maybe. And some people, all countries, multinational, all nations, United Nations. So like this you can see that self-centeredness is gradually expanding. It is better because it helps one and sets one away from thinking about oneself primarily. To think of someone apart from me, so that one gets trained, and when one is enlightened about the Supreme, can think of this for the benefit of the Supreme. So, the word sacrifice suggests dedication of one's own interests for satisfaction of a second person. That is the way of all activities. Every man is engaged in sacrificing his interests for others, either in the form of family, society, community, country, or the entire human society. But perfection of such sacrifices is attained when they are performed for the sake of the Supreme Person, the Lord. Because the Lord is the proprietor of everything. Because the Lord is the friend of all living creatures. And because He is the maintainer of the performer of the sacrifice as well as supplier of the ingredients of sacrifice. It is He only and no one else should be satisfied by all sacrifices. This idea of expansion. So the thing is this, Bhagavatam describes aham mameti. First is about aham, myself. And then the understanding of mama, mine. So the first misunderstanding happens that we think we are the body, and then we start thinking things connected with the body are mine. We feel our father and mother, we feel our brothers and sisters, and maybe a little bit bigger family. They are all connected with us. And we feel good. They are mine. And that association feels good, that there is some kind of a bonding. But actually, this aham and the mama are all illusory. Because in our previous life, we associated ourselves with another body. We considered that as aham. And things connected with that body as mine. We don't even remember that in our present life. It's a fact, isn't it? We experience somebody in our midst. And sometimes we have all experienced to various extents. And that person suddenly dies. And then the family members grieve for a while. But then after some time, life has to go on. They come to terms and life goes on. And then practically that person is forgotten. And for that person, he cannot anymore have any access to these people at all. In our previous life, we were in some situation, we had our family members and friends and connections, and we felt very strongly for them. But now, in our present life, I have a different aham and I have a different set of mama. And no contact with them at all. And how many lives we have taken, how many ahams we have taken, how many mamas we have identified. It is countless. And so this goes on and on and on. So, this requires enlightenment. This requires knowledge to start analyzing this, what is going on. And then we will start understanding that, okay, this is what is happening. This is our situation. This is our position. We are here for a short while and we will be gone. And hence, I must try to understand what this is all about. Recently, I was talking to a very accomplished and intelligent person in Delhi. An elderly person, very accomplished, reached very high positions in the country. And then he brought one small piece of newspaper and he said, I read this one in the newspaper and it's been, so maybe I should ask you about this. And then he started asking me. The newspaper article was about something, some little bit philosophical. And the writer quotes, must be some philosopher, who says, you never enter the same river twice. It's a philosophical statement. You never enter the river twice. What's he explaining? What is he meaning? He's saying, and then you have to, when you read the article, I could make out. When you enter the river, you are in touch with the river, water, and few other things that are flowing with the river. And then after some time you come back and touch the river. You are in touch with another set of items. And first what you met, all of them already flown down. In other words, the river is in a constant state of flux. You never meet the same river again. It's constantly changing. In the sense, now you understand? You never enter the river, same river, twice, because the river configuration, the atoms and the molecules all have changed, and the twigs and the leaves and some other things that are flowing, so again it is changed, and you will never get the same pattern, same situation. It's another set of water flowing. And then the writer is explaining that this is how the world is, in a constant flux. We are, and then the article describes that the human body is made of 10 power 21 atoms. Somebody must have figured that out. 1 followed by 21 zeros. 10 power 21 atoms and This is what the body. And then when we are breathing out, so many atoms are coming away. When you have a bath, so many atoms. And you are eating food, new atoms you are consuming. And that's getting ingested into the body. And that's forming the cells and the tissues. And so in this way, you meet a person. Second day, you never meet the same person that you met yesterday. Good analysis. And so, like this, things are constantly in flux in the world. And then something like this, and then, so we have to be kind to people, that's kind of conclusion he had come. So I was actually reflecting on this at that time, and I pointed out something. So one understanding is that there is constant flux in this world, which with a little introspection like this, thinking, you can see. But this is at a very microscopic level, like water, river water, or a human. Now we are talking about life after life. Our aham and mama is also in a constant flux. And what we identify, what situations we identify, is all in a constant flux. But then, let's see what Krishna says about these things in the Gita. It's a very interesting point. Krishna says in the 8th chapter, there's one very nice statement, or exactly what is being mentioned in that particular article. Adhibhutam ksharo bhavaha. And how does Prabhupada translate that? Physical nature is known to be endlessly mutable. Adhibhutam, physical nature. Ksharaha, constantly changing. Kshara, constantly it is changing. Kshara means to degenerate, to degrade. It never stays the same. Bhavaha, that is the nature of physical. Adhibhutam. Prakriti is always undergoing changes. You come to the river, second time, river has changed. You meet a person and the bodily constitution after some time, the body has changed. Every organ has changed, cells have changed. Because every day we are eating so much food. And all that food is getting converted into organs and cells and molecules and tissues and organs. It's undergoing change. So, adhibhutam ksharo bhavaha. Physical nature is known to be endlessly mutable. Very beautiful translation by Prabhupada. Adhibhutam ksharo bhavaha. But while the Prakriti, Adhibhuta, is endlessly undergoing mutation, Krishna says we must recognize there is one thing that is not changing. Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavo Adhyatma Muchyate. See the word Kshara and Akshara. Although this body, physical nature, Prakriti, material nature is undergoing constant Kshara, and that is its bhavaha, it is its nature, but there is one Aksharaha. Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavo Adhyatma Muchyate. But there is another soul which is Akshara, not changing at all. Our bodies are changing, the world is changing, but we are the same individual. Aksharam, not undergoing changes, indestructible. Brahma, spiritual. Here, Brahma means spirit. Paramam. You see, in Sanskrit, we have to see the meanings of the words in the context as explained by realized souls. That is why Vedic literatures are called Shruti. Generally, we define Shruti means Vedic literature which is heard. Prabhupada further qualifies heard from realized souls. Shruti has to be heard from realized souls. This is knowledge to be acquired from realized souls, not from ordinary people. You hear from someone ordinary person, you will not get that understanding. So here Prabhupada translates Paramam. Usually Param means supreme, we would think. Here Prabhupada translates Paramam as transcendental. Why this word Param means transcendental? Because there is another word, antonyms in Sanskrit, Iha Para. Iha means of this world, and Para means not of this world, beyond this world. And hence, here, Para, Param, Paramam is referring to transcendental, not the supreme. Mayavadis mistake that. Oh, Param, Paramam, see, we are supreme. This is how Mayavadis misread the Vedic literatures. So, Aksharam Brahma Paramam Svabhavo Adhyatmam Uchyate. Then Krishna is pointing out, the material nature may be constantly immutable, endlessly mutable. It's constantly undergoing changes. That's the nature of material world. That is the nature of Prakriti. But in the midst of that, there is one which is Aksharam, which is Paramam, which is Brahman. And what is its nature? Its nature is Adhyatmam, Svabhavo Adhyatmam Uchyate. The indestructible Akshara, transcendental Paramam, living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature, Svabhava, is called the self. And that is what we all feel, myself. That selfness, selfhood is the nature of that Akshara Brahma Paramam. This is what Krishna is trying to point out. Akshara Brahma Paramam Adhyatmam Uchyate. Svabhavo Adhyatmam Uchyate. Now, how does this Akshara Brahma Paramam, that self, has acquired this body? What was the basis? How did it acquire this body? Bhuta bhavod bhavakaro visargaha karma sangnitaha. Very beautiful. Action pertaining to the development of these material bodies is called karma, or fruitive activities. Krishna defines what is karma. This Akshara Brahma Paramam, spiritual, indestructible, transcendental self, has now acquired a body. We have acquired a body now. We move around with the body. We carry this body. We nourish this body. How did we acquire? Bhuta bhava udbhava karaha visargaha karma sangnitaha. And that activity pertaining to the development of this body is called karma. It is our past activities which has resulted in this body, and our present activities will result in the next body that we will acquire. Bhuta bhava udbhava karaha visargaha karma sangnitaha. And then Krishna goes on to say, after this Krishna says, adibhutam ksharo bhavaha purushascha adidaivatam adiyagnoham ivatra dehe dehabhrutam vara. The universe is the cosmic form of the Supreme Lord. Purushascha adidaivam. The material universe is actually a form of the Lord. And that's called the cosmic form of the Lord. The Lord has, besides this, another form also. He has, besides that cosmic form, he has a transcendental form. But this material universe itself is a manifestation of his energies, and it is a form of the Lord. The universe is the cosmic form of the Supreme Lord. It's a conception. It's a way of thinking. It is a way of looking at the universe. And I am that Lord represented as the super soul dwelling in the heart of every embodied being. Adiyagnoham eva atra dehe dehabhrutam. I am also situated in the dehabhrutam, the akshara brahma paramam, which has acquired a body. Dehabhrutam means embodied, that which has acquired a body. In that, I am situated. Aham eva atra dehe dehabhrutam adhiyagnaha. I am the master. Adhiyagna, the super soul, the master who is also situated in this body. So in this whole subject matter, adhiyagna, adhibhuta, adhyatma, Arjuna had asked the question, what are these things, Krishna? That's how the 8th chapter begins. You see? Kim tad brahma? What is that brahma? Kim adhyatmam? What is this adhyatma? Kim karma purushottama? Arjuna is asking. Kim karma? What is karma purushottama? Krishna. Adibhutam cha kim? What is adibhuta, Krishna? Proktam adidhaivam kimuchyate? And what is said to, what is called adidaiva? Please explain. And so this was Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the self, Adhyatma? What are the fruitive activities, karma? What is this material manifestation, Adibhutam? What are the demigods, Daivam, Adidaivam? Please explain this to me. And so Krishna, this is 8th chapter. And so Krishna begins by saying, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Svabhavo Adhyatma Uchyate. So the point is, sometimes most people are just absorbed in their life. My family, I should acquire some money, I should become big man, I should become powerful, I should keep my family happy, me happy. This is what 98% of the people are. This is the same as animal life. Animals are also doing the same thing. How I can be happy with myself, getting good food and getting a territory. Tigers have territories. Even dogs, cats have territories. So I should be comfortable in my territory. This is what most people's life. They spend all their life doing that. So some people begin to think, oh, life is always, you never enter the water the second time, which is all in under flux. They have begun to see something a little bit more. But that's not enough. You are seeing, then I was hearing that as that elderly, very accomplished person was reading the article, I was keenly observing whether that writer comes to there is something that is not akshara, that is not kshara. Is he coming to that? He never came to that. He's only talking about all things are changing. So you should be nice to people. It ends there. You see, you need the help of the Shastra. You need the help of a realized soul who can point out from the Shastra. Yes, that is the nature of adibhutam ksharo bhavaha. But in the midst of that, there is a akshara brahma paramam. Swabhavo adhyatmam uchyate. And its nature is, swabhava is adhyatmam, self. Which we are all concerned about, myself. And that myself is that adhyatma, akshara brahma, and that is never changing. That's why Krishna says in another way, that same, dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara. Deha is constantly changing. Kaumaram yavvanam jara. Tata dehantara prapti. And then at one point we give up this body also. But there is a dehina. There is an occupant in the body who is not changing at all. We are the same person. You see, most people don't find all these things. Now, for this to happen, for us to read the Vedic literatures correctly, and for us to read and make correct conclusion and progress, we have to come in touch with a pure devotee. Otherwise, we will not get this understanding. We are all born Hindus, right? We had got some knowledge of God, demigod, some yajna. All these things was part of our life. We went to festivals, we did this and that. But then we never had correct understanding till we came in touch with Srila Prabhupada. And it was Prabhupada who explained to us accurately, correctly, what are all these things going on. How to read the Vedic literatures correctly, accurately. So, we should always be conscious of these facets of spiritual life. We became aware of it. And it is because of Prabhupada clarifying these things authoritatively from the scriptures and from his personality, from his behavior, from his example. These things come out. And what we do, because we have been reading Prabhupada's books, hearing classes, and we keep repeating. And then somebody who hears this one will feel, hey, it's so nice. And we start feeling, see, I am giving all the knowledge. We are just repeating. We should know. The correct conclusion has been presented by an acharya, and that is a pure devotee. So that is the position of an acharya who has realized knowledge of these things, and he can enlighten living entities who come by him, in touch with him, by the transcendental touch. So when we read Prabhupada's books, as we practice, we read some sentence, And then it strikes us, oh, this is so special. You see, I'll read one more interesting point. In the 5th chapter, how does 5th chapter end? Bhoktaram yagna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gnatva mam shantim ruchyati. Right? That's the last verse of the 5th chapter. Now, one verse before that, what is Krishna talking about? Text 29 is Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam. One verse before that. Sparshan kritva bahirbham bhahyams chakshush chaivantare bhruvo pranapano samau kritva nasabhyantaracharina, etc. Yatendriya mano buddhir munir moksha parayanaha vigatecha bhaya krodhaha yas sadha mukta eva saha. Shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within the nostrils, thus controlling the mind, senses and intelligence. This is Ashtanga Yoga, 5th chapter. The transcendentalist becomes free from desire, fear and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated. Vigatecha bhaya krodhaha yas sadha mukta eva saha. In this way he is always liberated. And this chapter is called Karma Yoga. Krishna, after explaining the above principles of liberation in the Supreme, the Lord gives instruction to Arjuna as to how one can come to that position by the practice of mysticism or yoga known as Ashtanga Yoga, which is divisible into 8-fold procedure called Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. In the 6th chapter, the subject of yoga is explicitly detailed. In the next chapter, it will be further detailed. And at the end of the 5th chapter is only preliminarily explained in this verse. One has to drive out the sense objects such as sound, touch, form, taste and smell by the pratyahara process in yoga, and then keep the vision of the eyes between the two eyebrows and concentrate on the tip of the nose with half-closed eyes. There is no benefit in closing the eyes altogether, because then there is every chance of falling asleep. Nor is there benefit in opening the eyes completely, because then there is the hazard of being attracted by sense objects, and so on. Now, this Sadha Mukta Eva Saha, Krishna is bringing the discussion about Karma Yoga to one state in the one verse before that, a state called Brahma Nirvanam. Krishna talks about Brahma Nirvanam in many places, including from the 2nd chapter, Krishna talks about it. In this, towards the end of the 2nd, 71, 72 text number. We'll not go there. We'll lose track of what we are trying to discuss here. Kama krodha vimukthanam yatinam yatachetasam abhito brahma nirvanam vartate viditatmanam. Brahma nirvanam. Brahma nirvana. Nirvana means to be liberated. Brahma means to the Supreme. Brahma nirvanam means to be liberated in the Supreme. Translation. Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme, in the very near future. Brahma Nirvanam, liberated in the Supreme. So, in this, Prabhupada explains something very interesting. Being engaged in Krishna. If you see Bhagavad Gita, you will see this constantly happening. Krishna is explaining a certain process of yoga. Prabhupada explains that in the purport. But at the same time, Prabhupada does another thing. He's always trying to convince us how Krishna consciousness includes these benefits of the yoga process that Krishna is describing. Because Krishna consciousness is the highest. And in Krishna consciousness, highest meaning, when you are in the highest, all the things of the lower stages of yoga are included. Just like Prabhupada's example, if you have got 1 crore rupees, you also have 10 rupees, 100 rupees, 1000 rupees. You don't have to endeavor for, no, I only have 1 crore, I don't have 100 rupees, 20 rupees. No, when you have 1 crore, you have all the other things also. Isn't it? In the same way. So, in this context of shutting out the external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision the first paragraph, Prabhupada is bringing Krishna consciousness into picture. Being engaged in Krishna consciousness, one can immediately understand one's spiritual identity. This is what is actually happening in Krishna consciousness. What we practice is Krishna consciousness. Our society is called Society for International Society for Krishna Consciousness. This is what Prabhupada founded. So, one can immediately understand one's spiritual identity, and then one can understand the Supreme Lord by means of devotional service. When he is well situated in devotional service, one comes to the transcendental position. You see, when one practices Krishna consciousness nicely, automatically we keep our senses away from sense objects. We don't want our senses to be carried away by sense objects. We train ourselves. We want to keep our mind on transcendental subject matter. So that otherwise the mind will be drawn to material attractions. So, when he is well situated in devotional service, one comes to the transcendental position. We must aspire to come to the transcendental position. Qualified. What happens when we are in the transcendental position? When he is well situated in devotional service, one comes to the transcendental position, qualified to feel the presence of the Lord in the sphere of one's activity. This particular position is called liberation in the Supreme, Brahma Nirvanam. In this chapter, Karma Yoga, working for Krishna, is being described, so that by working for Krishna, one becomes qualified, one comes to a transcendental position, and in that transcendental position, one can feel the presence of the Lord in one's sphere of activity. Just see. So, in other words, we must come to that point where we may be doing various activities. In our sphere of activities, we can feel the presence of the Lord. This is Krishna consciousness. Not that only Brahmanas can feel the presence of the Lord, Shudras cannot. No, Krishna consciousness is such that if even a Shudra is practicing Krishna consciousness, even he can be elevated to Brahma Nirvana stage when he can feel the presence of the Supreme in his sphere of activity, Shudra activities. He may be doing simple jobs, simple tasks. Shudra is supporting, serving the other three varnas. Does not matter. If he is elevated in Krishna consciousness, if he is qualified, he can feel the presence of the Supreme in his sphere of activities. A king can feel, a Vaishya can feel, a Kshatriya can feel. That is the Krishna consciousness which actually transcends all varnas and ashramas. You see how it is? And after saying all this particular position is called liberation in the Supreme. And then Prabhupada goes into the next paragraph of this purport. After explaining the above principles of liberation in the Supreme, the Lord gives instruction to Arjuna as to how one can come to that position by the practice of mysticism or yoga known as Ashtanga Yoga. Through Karma Yoga you can come to that. Through Ashtanga Yoga you must come to that. That is what you are supposed to do by Ashtanga Yoga. But all of these are gradual processes to come to that. We take to Krishna consciousness. Another example Prabhupada gives, you can take staircase. First floor, second floor, 10th floor, 11th floor, 12th floor. You can go floor after floor, you can climb up when you take the staircase. Another thing you can do, take an elevator, press the button, and straight away you come to the 12th floor, 50th floor. Now, in an elevator example, this is what Krishna wanted to present in the Gita. Many people didn't understand. Krishna spoke about this. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja. You surrender to me. Give up all other considerations of all other dharmas. You give up. Because this Krishna Sharanagati is the eternal dharma of every living entity. So Krishna wanted to present this. Not everyone understood. And hence he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu once again to explain these things. So, the elevator works. You see, when you are climbing up a staircase, you are climbing up with your personal strength. That's why after 4 or 5 floors, if you climb, let me rest for a little while. Because you get exhausted. You are climbing with your personal strength. When you are in an elevator, your elevation is not due to your personal strength. It is because of the horsepower of the engine, a motor that is turning it and pulling you up. It is the mercy of the spiritual master. It is the mercy of the spiritual master who has given us the holy name to chant. And it is the power of the holy name that is elevating us. And this spiritual master wants us to be in the association of devotees. And it is the power of the association of devotees that pulls us up. And hearing about Krishna from the transcendental literature that energizes us, enlightens us, and helps us to be elevated, it is the Krishna Katha. So all of these things have been neatly organized as a lifestyle by Srila Prabhupada. We have association of devotees. We read Krishna Katha. We hear Krishna Katha. We chant the holy name. We have Vigraha Sevana. We have deities to worship. See, all of these things are actually pulling us up. That is what is causing our elevation. So, this requires very careful practice. Krishna consciousness requires careful practice. Whether it is chanting, whether it is doing kirtan, whether it is our lifestyle, in all these things, we have to see that we are doing it carefully as Prabhupada has taught us. We should not underestimate the importance of association of devotees. We should not minimize the chanting. All of these things are adding to bring us to that qualified position so that we can feel the presence of the Supreme, of the Lord in our sphere of activities. We should be looking for this kind of progress. Do I feel the presence of the Lord? So, this is a great science. This is a great art. And this is all about, this is the kind of sacrifice that the Vedic literatures recommend that we perform in this age. This is what others in other ages, they would gradually practice these different kinds of sacrifices. Life after life. Whole life they will be practicing one kind, and the soul will make some progress. And in the next life, it will make further progress. And the next life, further, climbing up the stairs, floor after floor. Krishna wanted to teach another method. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us another method to take the elevator. So all these things so nicely explained by Srila Prabhupada, a realized soul. So we should be conscious of these wonderful gifts Prabhupada has given us. We'll stop here. Yes.
If someone has to access Prabhupada, so if the conventional method by which one can access Prabhupada is by physical books, by the movement, so how could we find ways and means to make sure that Prabhupada is universally accessible in all dimensions? So, this thought crossed.
So, coming in touch with Srila Prabhupada is very essential. And Prabhupada has given a method. That Prabhupada's method is to establish temples. And in that temple you have all of these microcosm of spiritual activities. And when people come in touch with that temple, with all of these activities, they make progress. They get a correct understanding of Vedic literatures. They come to the right conclusion. They take the elevator. They take the benefit of all these different spiritual activities which can pull the living entity out of ignorance. So, this is what Prabhupada's plan is. And in that's why Prabhupada created a whole organization that how a temple has to be run, and how there are devotees come together for kirtan, they come for prasadam, they come for class, they come and attend morning program, they chant together, all of these things. And that's what a temple is. Isn't it? So that is the process. And Prabhupada wanted more and more temples to be established. There's one statement, Prabhupada says, in every village in India, I want to establish a temple. How many villages are there in our country? Maybe 1 crore villages, or maybe 50 lakh villages. Imagine 50 lakh temples Prabhupada wanted to have. So we just follow Prabhupada's instruction and fulfill his desires. Prabhupada took his guru's desire so seriously and created a revolution in the world. Isn't it? And in the same way, if we take Prabhupada's desires and work on it, we can actually create that, expand that revolution that Prabhupada is wanting. And actually Prabhupada is the one who is doing it. we think that we are the doers. Actually, it's because of the strength of Prabhupada's desire. All the forces of Krishna is orchestrating. And it is by His mercy that this is all unfolding. So we should know our small position. We should be humble and aspire to become an instrument in the hand of Prabhupada. A small instrument, and see these things unfold. That should be our aspiration for life. Yes, Amrita?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Like you told, action pertaining to the development of these material bodies is called karma or fruitive activities. Here again 15th chapter, Krishna says that Shariram yadavapnoti yadchapi utkramatishvara grihetvaitani samyati vayur gandhani vasayat. The living entities in the material world carries his different conception of life from one body to another as the air carries aroma. So my question is like karma. This karma based on our previous life karma, we have got this body. So people generally ask this question like, can we change our karma? So is this the answer? Means by absorption in Krishna consciousness, by chanting, by sadhana process, by having darshan of the deities, and this elevator process. So our karma changes means?
Very much. Our karma changes, and even as devotees, whatever we are able to do, it is not because of our abilities. If we had not been devotees, I've seen sometimes a devotee comes from a very simple background. He comes to Krishna consciousness. He's with it in the temple for 10 years, 12 years. Does so many different kinds of services and abilities he acquires. And sometimes, unfortunately, they leave temple and go back. And then I meet them after 2-3 years. They've actually gone back to what status they were before they joined. Can't believe that how they were doing so much service when they were in the temple. And why that is not happening there. They manifested so much ability in the temple. And when they went back, when they left, they're gone back. Innumerable examples I've come across this kind of situation. So, yes, Krishna changes our karma. Krishna gives us what we lack. Krishna preserves what we have. Yogakshema vahamyaham. He does all these things. And we should be very careful that this is a blessing of Guru and Krishna, not my own doing. So, yes, it is possible. If we have a desire, Krishna, I want to serve you. Prabhupada, I want to serve you. And Krishna consciousness is about working deep in the heart. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana. Krishna consciousness is working in the depths of our heart. And if we are desiring like that, Krishna, Guru Krishna will give us change karma and give us right understanding and be able to do service also. Yes, if people want to change karma, we have to do devotional service. Karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. Karmani nirdahati. All the bad karmas. Mekam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. So Sharanagati, that's the power of Sharanagati. It is papa which is actually causing trouble and hurdles and impediments and disturbances for us. Krishna says, Sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. So Yes, it is possible. We'll stop here. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki, Shri Nitai Gauranga ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Hari Hari.